Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation, and this topic takes me back. I used to be a divorce mediator, and the topic is when you and your spouse disagree on parenting. And trust me, when a couple is getting a divorce, whew, it really comes up. You don't know what you're doing. You're too permissive. You're too strict. You're too this. You're too that. Labeling, blaming, and it's terrible. You didn't get married in order to fight with each other. You got married to be happy. Remember this. That's the pole star that you need in everything that you do. I got married to be happy. I got married for my spouse to be happy. I want them to be so happy. That's my soulmate. I fell in love with them. I want them to float on cloud nine, and I will float on cloud nine because they're floating on cloud nine. And now you're bickering over something that's extraordinarily insane. You wanted to invite a child into this world in order to feel the joy and the protection of your family. And now you're going, well, when do we discipline them? When do we do this? How do we do that? Remember something. You didn't marry the person you see in the mirror. You married your partner, your soulmate. And just like partners in business, they're not the same. I don't want to bring marriage down to that level of business, but as an illustration, because marriage is not a business, but as an illustration, when you are in partnership in a business, one has these qualities, the other has these qualities, and you approach things very differently. And that's what makes the business so successful, because you have two minds who see things differently. And I know you go, well, this is so important. Well, let me tell you something. Yes, it is important how you parent, but there's some basics. Number one, you love and protect them. And I don't need to tell you to do that. You already love and protect your child. By the way, are you a subscriber? Because you should definitely become one, because our approach is really better than everyone else's. I'm going to say that out loud. It's not arrogant. It's just the truth. So, number one, love and protect your child. Number two, know where they need work so that when they grow up, they don't have the same deficits that they came into the world with. Now, you may not get rid of those deficits entirely. You're only human. But you can help them at least realize this is what they need to work on. So, how do you do that? Now, if we were talking about your friend, I don't care the flaw, you'll never get them to change. You can't bribe them, you can't threaten them, and when your kids get a little older, you can't also threaten them, bribe them, or anything else. Nothing works, because they've become, by the time a kid is 5 years old, they're pretty much who they're going to be. But before then, you can start moving them in different ways. For instance, if they have a tendency to hit their little brother or sister and you spank their hand, they're going to get it. Not okay. Not okay. Don't need a big explanation. It's just not okay. You just don't hit people. If they steal, bam, you hit that hand. No, not okay. Okay. Now one of you is saying, I would never strike my child. It's not bad to strike your child's hand. I'm not saying whack it with a stick and take it off, but you got to send them a message that they will appreciate. Now, typically, mothers don't want to do that, and fathers don't want to not do that. And guess what? That's why there's two of you, because one of you should be doing that. And this is where the problem always comes up, in that both parents think they are right. Well, one of you is right and the other one is right too. You're both right. We're not talking about brutalizing your kids physically. So sometimes the mother has to look the other way. Sometimes the father has to look the other way. but don't interfere with each other's practices. That's really the bottom line. Just don't interfere. Let them be who they are. They are also that child's loving parent who wants the best for them. Recognize that their intentions are right on. Also recognize that you don't know when they're right or wrong. You may feel it in every fiber of your being, but you still don't really know. I remember, I don't remember the book very well because I was just a kid, but in the 50s there was this guy, Spock, who wrote the Bible for raising kids. It was like this thick. He screwed up an entire generation of children, and he was the Bible for how to raise kids. People don't know. The reason they don't know is because there's too many variables. If you love them, if you protect them, if you intend to do the very best you can by them, you're doing a great job. And so is your wife, so is your husband. And pray, God, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is your kid. You created them. Guide me. And then go with that intuitive feeling that you have. But don't condemn your wife or your husband for how they are seeing the right way to raise the child. You're going to disagree on parenting. Everybody disagrees on parenting, not in discussions, but when it comes down to it, because you're different. You have different views, and your kids are going to get the benefit of that. And the greatest benefit they're going to get is if you love each other to death and your home is filled with joy and love, which is how you're supposed to run your marriage. Did you know that? Do you fight? Do you ever argue? Oh, you do? Well, in a good marriage, there's zero arguments. There's only love. Only love. And we've been doing this for 20 years, plus, way more than 20 years actually. And that's what we hold out as the pole stars in how you run your marriage. Am I creating love? Am I creating happiness? Am I creating joy, harmony? And if you're doing those things, you're on the right track. But obviously you're not. So learn how to be married. Subscribe to this channel. You'll learn a lot. It's not always about parenting, and you won't always disagree with me as vehemently as you do in this video. I know people disagree with me. That's okay. Our main thing is not parenting anyway. Our main thing is having an amazing marriage. And in fact, we're starting to train people who want to become TMF marriage counselors. You may have an interest in that yourself. Marriage is intended to be filled with love and joy. Nothing less should be settled for. That's right. God bless you. Visit again. Leave a like, leave a comment, and take care. Thank you.